Highness Al Sayed Basma, Her Highness Sheikha Fadia Al Saad Al Sabah, Baroness Burma, distinguished guests, WinTrade finalists, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WinTrade Global Awards 2021. On behalf of our patrons, sponsors and our team, we welcome you to this evening's event, which brings our first virtual WinTrade Summit to a close. Our vision at WinTrade Global is to be a global inclusive platform for women entrepreneurs, contributing to the economic success of female entrepreneurs everywhere. WinTrade Global Summit 2021 moves closer toward our ambitions. Even though the world went through the pandemic lockdown, extraordinary times matched only by the world wars, the human race showed how resilient we are as a people. Even through the worst of times, WinTrade Global Network was able to be a shining light in the dark days of COVID-19 and a glint of hope for women entrepreneurs across the globe. This was borne out by the 500 nominations received from across the world and across the various categories of the awards this year. These nominees generated over 11,500 voting supporters, yielding our 70 finalists for our judges to produce the 22 WinTrade Global Awards winners that will illuminate our stage for you this evening. Yet don't let anyone kid you that this was an easy task. My executive team and I battled against the perfect storm for us to be here celebrating with you this evening. Not surprisingly, insecurity about the pandemic made funders hesitant to invest beyond their doors. Yet we were bowled over by the vision and determination of those sponsors who form our partnership this year, who didn't hesitate to get on board. This is therefore a timely segue to thank our champion sponsors, Facebook and Lady Nicola Mendelsohn, and our main sponsor, Her Highness Sheikha Fadia Al Saad Al Sabah, for their vision and their fortitude. Not forgetting our other supporters, without their contribution, this event would not have been possible. We sincerely hope you enjoy this evening, that you cheer our sisters and dance like no one's watching you later on our virtual dance floor. Showing the reach of the golden thread that links WinTrade Global Network to women across the world, I'd like to welcome former Assistant to President Obama, Tina Chen. She has advanced gender equality, particularly for the working women. Tina is now the President and Chief Executive Officer of Time's Up.
Thank you, Yvonne, and I'm honored to be here, at least virtually, to participate in the WinTrade Global Virtual Summit and Awards. And I know that you've been discussing during this entire summit that question of what a difference a year makes. And you could not have picked a more timely topic because, my goodness, what a difference a year makes. Did any one of us think that this is where we would be in 2021 when we looked ahead 5 years ago or 2 years ago even? We're at a moment that has seen not only the devastation that this global pandemic and economic downturn has caused across the globe in every sector for everyone around the planet, but yet also we know it has particularly visited hardship upon women and girls around the globe. We know that women and girls have been impacted by exclusion from school, exclusion from the workplace, taking on the burdens of being an essential worker and caring for your loved ones at home at the same time without the benefits and support of paid leave in some circumstances like we don't have in the United States, or adequate childcare support, or adequate help from other members of the family, or support from your employer. And so we see women leaving the economy, leaving our workplaces in droves. In the United States, we're in a position where we know over 2 million women have permanently left the workforce over the last year and a half. and they have largely left the workforce because of the demands of caregiving, that they can no longer balance the tightrope that women have had to walk even before the pandemic began, of trying to do the work they needed to provide food on the table for their kids, as well as taking care of children, elderly parents, disabled loved ones themselves in the course of their lives. And so we need this historic transformational moment where the world is coming out of this cataclysmic event to build back better, as President Biden says, to actually reimagine the way our economic systems operate, the way our social service systems operate, to create economies where it's not just for the few at the top, but it is for the many, where we're supporting especially women and girls in every aspect of what they need to fully succeed in our workplaces. Because we know, guess what, this isn't just about benefiting women and girls and their families. This is about whole economies, whole businesses. We know that study after study shows that the more women who are in companies up and down the wage scale, in management positions as well as in entry-level positions, the more profitable those companies are, the better they score in every management scale that gets measured. We see it in the returns that they get and on profits to the bottom line, which is why so many employers are embracing the issues of needing to address true diversity, inclusion, and equity in the workplace. We also know that if women participate in the economy, if girls get a full 12 years of education, which I know from the work I did with Mrs. Obama, then whole GDP of entire countries will rise. The World Bank tells us this. The State Departments of both parties in the United States tells us this, that investing in 12 years of education for the world's adolescent girls is the clearest thing we have to a golden key to the world's development problems. And now is the time when so many girls have lost ground because of being excluded from school during the pandemic, that we have to really reach down and double down on the services, the kinds of supports to combat violence against women and girls, to combat, the exclusion from school, school fees, excluding them during the month time when they're menstruating in the month. All of the barriers that keep young girls from continuing in school. We need to actually address all of those issues, combat them, and make sure girls have a full access to education. And then when they do, we need to support our women entrepreneurs, our women business owners, our women who are building our economy, invest in their businesses, invest in what they can do. That includes investing in them as caregivers. One of the things we are working so hard in the United States right now is on President Biden's proposals to invest in the full spectrum of caregiving, from childcare to elder care, disabled care, and importantly, increased wages and labor protections for our caregivers, so that we really recognize the profession that caregiving is and we invest in it. And we can grow our economy that way as well. Because for every caregiving job we create, they are doing a job that allows someone else to go to work and to provide for their families. So it stimulates our economy in multiple ways. And this is the moment where we can transform our workplaces so they really represent all of our workers. And that's what Time's Up has been working on. We've been committed to this for the last, year and a half to really address this issue, especially the caregiving issue that has become front and center in this pandemic. And why do we do that? Most of you know Time's Up as the organization founded in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein reporting in 2017 of sexual harassment throughout the entertainment industry. And we started our first initiative, the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund, to provide legal and PR support to those survivors of workplace sexual harassment. But in addition to standing with survivors, we also want to work for a world where it doesn't happen in the first place. And to do that, we know we need to upset the power structures that allow sexual harassment to occur, that keep women and LGBTQIA, disabled workers, people of color, from fully succeeding and participating in our workplaces. So that means building safe, fair, and equitable workplaces for everyone. And to do that, we have to break down those barriers that are keeping workers from fully participating. And right now, we know that the urgent crisis is caregiving and to build that infrastructure. So I look forward to doing this work. We are at a moment where we can realize the promise of what the 21st century economy should be for workers that fully includes everyone, or I fear turn away from it and lose the gains for yet another generation. But I am bound and determined not to lose this opportunity. Look, our daughters and our sons are counting on us to really remake this world in this moment where we've all suffered so much and gone through so much, to make the most of it, to realize a better tomorrow, a true global tomorrow that will include everyone, especially women and girls around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina, for that inspiring message. And now we have a message from UK sponsor, Lady Nicola Mendelsohn, Vice President of Facebook for Europe, Middle East and Africa.
Good evening, everyone. It is fantastic to be with you at the WinTrade Awards. Now, this is an event that's very close to my heart. A few years ago, I was honoured to win a WinTrade Award, and it's got pride of place in my living room at home. I'd like to start by thanking my dear friend, Dr. Yvonne Thompson. Yvonne, you created WinTrade to support women in business, I think it was over 24 years ago. But the community that you've built is a gift to all of us. And WinTrade is just as relevant today, and maybe even more so than it was back then. And I know that I speak on behalf of everybody here when I say thank you to you for all that you do. Now, this to me is the perfect time to come together for the WinTrade Awards, because my goodness, what a year it's been for women. And despite everything that's been thrown at us, we continue to persevere and we continue to achieve great things. And there are so many recent examples. Take medicine. Hero researchers like Sarah Gilbert in the UK and Katalin Kariko in the US, they played really crucial key roles in creating the COVID vaccines. In arts and entertainment, we saw the Academy Award for the Best Director go to a woman of colour, Chloe Zhao, for the very first time, with Nomadland, which is an incredible film. And let's not forget sport. Any gymnast fans out there? I'm sure you all know Simone Biles, the American gymnast, who many say is literally the greatest athlete of all time, full stop. Last month, she landed a vault that no woman has ever landed in competition before. And I really can't wait to cheer her on alongside all the other amazing women at the Olympics next week. Now, this year has proved once again that even on an unfair playing field, women have the strength, they have the brilliance, and they have the talent to excel. Each and every one of you in this audience is proof of that. And so it's incredibly important to celebrate these achievements. And that's why I'm so proud that Facebook supports the WinTrade Awards and is sponsoring the Women in Tech category for the 3rd year running. I want to say a huge congratulations to all the finalists tonight. You're leading the change that we need to see. And I'd also like to thank Baroness Verma, Carol Stone, Her Highness Saida Basma Al Said, Sydney Yvonne, and the WinTrade team for putting on this important event. Now, I've talked about women's achievements this year, but we all know it's not been easy. And over the past 18 months, we've seen women saddled with housework and childcare that remind me in many ways of the 1950s. I saw a statistic recently which showed that during the pandemic, female startup CEOs in the US took a 30% pay cut. What about the men? Well, they took a 2% pay rise. 2% pay rise. So when it comes to equality at work and at home, we still have a lot to fight for. And at Facebook, we're committed to supporting women and empowering them to succeed. And one area that we're doing this in is in small business. So many small businesses have been hammered during this pandemic, and ones led by women have really tended to suffer the most. Over the past year, we've given $100 million in grants to help. And we're also committed to continue to support women entrepreneurs with our She Means Business program. And this program provides training and mentorship to 65,000 women across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa this year alone. Here in the UK, well, we're really focused on helping firms to reopen. And just this month, we worked to create beautiful windows for 13 shops across the UK. Almost all of these shops are owned by women, and we hope these windows will really encourage people to stop by and to support these entrepreneurs. Now, we're also doing work within Facebook itself. We're continuing to hire and retain talented women, and our goal is that by 2024, 50% of our global workforce will be made up of women and other underrepresented groups. And we're also rolling out new programs that are tailored to women's needs. Earlier this year, we announced a new medical benefit, and that's a benefit that can enable our employees to consult a specialist menopause doctor. This is a health challenge that is too often forgotten, and we want to bring it into the light. Now, when we talk about achieving equality for women, it can start to feel a little overwhelming, but it's a global problem. But from what I've seen, big changes often start with just one person standing up and saying, "Hey, how can we make this better?" And that's what we're here to celebrate tonight. All the times that each and every one of you has stood up as a leader and decided, you know what, I'm not going to settle for this status quo. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to be the change I want to see. So here's to each of you, the women shaping the future. Congratulations from all of us at Facebook to the finalists here tonight. I hope you have a fabulous evening and enjoy the rest of the WinTrade Awards.
Thank you, Nicola. WinTrade Global is so fortunate for having a long-term partnership with Facebook. Now, the next speaker shows how far our golden thread reaches around the globe. We're happy and honoured to welcome into the WinTrade Global Village for the first time our main partner for this year's WinTrade Global Summit and Awards, Her Highness Sheikha Fadia Al Saad Al Sabah.
I am pleased to be with you at this event, celebrating pioneering women in businesses from across the globe who are making extraordinary strides in their business as well as those in the voluntary and public sector arena. I believe this is one of the most important and prominent forums supporting women to become better in business, as well as connecting them across the world. I would like to express my appreciation to the organizers of this initiative, which aims to encourage the talents and skills of women, as well as highlighting the women's role in contributing to the overall economic development at a global level. My belief is that by achieving gender equality, we will benefit the world economy, which in turn will improve the quality of life for us all. Believing in the need of innovative, sustainable, goal-specific initiatives and adopting a creative approach based on innovation and integration, I established a foundation in memory of my late father, Sheikh Saad Al-Abdullah Al-Sabah. May his soul rest in peace, back in 2009. This is a non-profit foundation aimed at encouraging and developing scientific research and proposing effective initiatives for highlighting the woman's role in society. Ibtikar is the most prominent of such initiatives, and under this initiative, we have the Fadia Saad Science Competition aimed at encouraging innovative and creative ideas of female school students from public schools across the GCC countries. In addition, we successfully launched the Middle East Women Inventors and Innovators Network, MeWin, in cooperation with the Global Women Inventors and Innovators Network, Global Win. Here we encourage and celebrate the most capable women who are able to introduce changes through new scientific ideas contributing to progress in technological and economic fields. We educate and guide women and find opportunities for female inventors to develop and market their projects globally. We are all aware the achievements of women are not the result of chance, but rather the result of excellence in scientific achievement, an eagerness to work, and a level of freedom allowed to them. This has made this presence successful in political, economic, and social fields. Crises usually stimulate change, and adversities often lead to non-traditional solutions. In the current COVID-19 pandemic, We have the ideal opportunity to make more efforts to adopt a series of programs aimed at supporting economic independence and free initiative for women. This could include amending family laws and penal laws, rectification, confronting violence against women, and the creation of an Excellence Award aimed at encouraging women who consolidate fairness and equality, encouraging the desired investment, productive employment, the provision of beneficial education, and providing decent living. This should be coupled with encouraging positive discrimination for a broader participation of women in public and elected institutions. We know that this issue will require a comprehensive overhaul, transformation of old-fashioned attitudes and beliefs, and collective awareness raising, further allowing women to be involved in all areas of national life. Women should not be held back by lack of resources. It is necessary and should be given that women have access to innovative financing strategies, access and use of technology, and creating spaces for consultation and decision-making at the local, national, and international levels based on a common approach. The public authorities, private sector, and civil community undoubtedly play a pivotal role in this field, which should be exercised to consolidate the leading role of women. It is not possible for any country, economy, enterprise, or community to overcome the challenges. Any obstacle impeding women's empowerment is in fact an obstacle in the development process. If a country is struggling and facing challenges, then women should not pay the price for this. On the contrary, women should be contributing as a fundamental part of building, transforming, and developing that community. The world needs pioneering women and their feminine power and competencies. They are needed as managers, contractors, and influencers on society, contributing to changing the present conditions within their countries, where they can devote their tremendous capabilities for stepping forward with reliability and resolution, seeking an ongoing transformation to the best of their abilities. The UN published an article in February of this year looking at the female contribution during the pandemic. Women make up 70% of health and social care workers, putting them at the heart of the COVID-19 response. The co-founder of the company who developed the first approved vaccine against COVID is a woman. A sad increase in gender-based violence, in itself an issue, led to 2 women developing a technology allowing organizations and victims to communicate safely with each other. This is a very small percentage of the many ways in which women are already contributing to a society. However, we are capable of so much more given the encouragement, opportunity, and respect that we deserve. As you can tell, I am very proud to be part of this distinguished partnership with WinTrade Global and to honor women entrepreneurs. I am especially proud of the 3 Kuwaiti women entrepreneurs who have made it to the final awards ceremony today. Zainab Al-Abdurazak, who is up for the Women in Media category as founder of Oud.com. We also have Rawan Al-Kandari in the category of Women in Marketing, Advertising, and PR as founder of Comma, Kuwait. Last but not least, Nabila Al-Sabah, who is the running for the WinTrade Award as head of the FSSC scientific competition under the Ibtikar initiative. And finally, thank you again to the organizers and this initiative, and the best of luck to all of the nominees.